G'day, welcome to the Beat Talk Show. This is my first episode or first show of my new channel. So I'm thinking about making this channel, starting this channel to show my Bitcoin journey, to talk about Bitcoin and to share ideas with the Bitcoin world, and to also hear ideas from the rest of you. I don't expect any views in this first episode, so just going to go for it, honestly, openly, and just hope to hear back from people like me, people that are going through the same things like me, people that are struggling like me. It's hard to hodl Bitcoin, especially when things are tight in life. You try not to sell Bitcoin at all, but sometimes you have to make ends meet while continuing to stack and finding that fine line. So this episode is more about not selling Bitcoin and what I'm going to try and do in the future to not sell any, if little. So my story, basically, the last couple of years I've been stacking Bitcoin. Maybe 2-3 years I'd have to go back through my purchase history and figure it out, to be honest. But during the last 12 months I've had to sell Bitcoin for family stuff, for holiday expenses that were needed, things like that at the time I really didn't want to, but in a way I saw and see Bitcoin as my savings account, so I didn't feel super bad. But I knew selling, say 12 months ago, was going to cost me in the future, and it has. It's cost me a lot of potential gains. That's why I've been thinking about borrowing against my Bitcoin. I have done so a little bit already. For my last trip overseas that we took with my family, I was adamant I did not want to sell Bitcoin. So, even my family's like, "Oh, it's your savings. It's okay." And I get that, I understand that, but I thought there's got to be another way. So, back in maybe 2020, 2021, when I was mucking around with shitcoins and Ethereum and Avalanche and Polygon and all the layer 2s on top of Ethereum, I came across a platform called Aave, A-A-V-E. They're a borrowing and lending decentralized platform. Most of their liquidity is on Ethereum, but they do also do Arbitrum and a couple others, I think. So I thought, alright, what if I go back to Arbitrum, see what the rates are? Well, I had a look, and rates were 5.5% for USDT. And I thought, well, all my debt, I'm paying minimum 12% right now. So I thought, well, that's amazing. My thought process was, though, look, I'm giving up custody of my Bitcoin. There's a risk to that. And if we have a black swan event and it drops completely, I'll get liquidated probably faster than I can put more collateral in. Those things aside, I still did it. I still went for it. I did about a 50% LVR, loan to value ratio. The other reason was like I needed the money. I didn't want to sell the Bitcoin, and I'm pretty tapped out in regards to fiat leverage. So, I needed the money quickly. I couldn't exactly. I was overseas already. That was another thing. And the beauty of Bitcoin is it's borderless. I needed the money quickly. I've already got enough credit where I don't really want to add more in the fiat world, especially at higher rates. I did it. It worked, and now that Bitcoin loan is sitting on Aave, and I've given up custody of some of my Bitcoin. The beauty I immediately saw in it was there's no minimum monthly payment.
which means my cash flow from my wage job, which I'm going to right now, I don't have to suck that cash flow out of my personal pocket. And I know the interest will build up. You'll say, well, you know, in a year's time you'll be another 5% in the debt. I get that, but it's not 12%, it's not 20%, 25% like some credit cards are. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy that I've only taken, I guess, a small risk with my bag. And yeah, I think it works. Now, the next step I've been considering, and I've been talking to Grok and AI a bit about this to try and get more ideas and help me break down the numbers better, is taking a bigger loan to pay off fiat debt, credit cards, which are more than double the rate of the Aave loan. My conundrum is I'll be putting in a much larger stack. I want a very high LVR. So let's say I'll just run some numbers. They won't be the real numbers I'll use. But let's say I wanted to pay a $4,000, $5,000 credit card off. I would want to put minimum $10,000 of Bitcoin in, more like probably 12 to 15,000. So that if we do drop to 50,000 US dollars, we're at 91,000 now. If we drop to 50, I'm not scrambling to add in more collateral. And at the same time, as the debt builds up on the Aave loan, I don't have to quickly, living on the edge is not good with these loans. So I won't have to quickly dump in more collateral as the interest builds up. But the beauty I've now seen in it is it frees up my wage cash flow. And if I can free up wage cash flow, I can start to snowball my other debts. So I'll pay some debt off with this loan. That's in my theory anyway. And then I'll use that freed up cash flow to start to snowball onto other stuff. And I won't pay any minimum monthlies on the Aave loan. I will simply let it ride, keep an eye on the LVR, and as this Bitcoin continues, as this bull market continues to go, which I think it will, that'll be in another video. I just ride it, and you know what? If Bitcoin starts to drop, we go back to 80, to 70, to 60. To 54, which I think is the realized price right now, which I don't think we'll get to, then I'll have cash flow from my income to buy more. And then I can just load that as collateral onto the loan and then hold it for when it goes back up. So the way I see it is, yes, I'm leveraging my own Bitcoin, but I can take advantage of my cash flow to either pay down my personal debt or DCA later at a lower price. The only risk I see is counterparty risk with Aave. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it's not exactly on the Bitcoin network either, so you've got that risk. I would run it on Ethereum, I would wrap it into WBTC. There's a risk of that too, but I mean, if a blockchain's going to crash, I don't think it's going to be Ethereum. I don't know if you guys are into the whole shitcoin world. I'm not anymore after I became more of a Bitcoin maxi. But Phantom chain it's basically turned into a ghost. There's heaps of chains that have turned into ghost chains, but that's why I'm choosing Ethereum, because I don't think that is going to happen. I won't go on a layer 2. BNB, Polygon, Avalanche, Arbitrum, Optimism, or Optimum, whatever it's called, the OP one, the red one. I'm not going to touch those because those layer 2s can go belly up. Now, I don't think BNB will anytime soon. Binance would never let it. But at the same time, there's that risk.
So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you got any value out of this, I'd appreciate a like. Subscribe for more. I plan to make more and more videos. Yeah, thanks a lot. Cheers.